What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? Xraypc here, back with another 7 Deadly Sins origin video, and this one is for what are the best teams for Diane and the Heal Burst build. So I made the other video. My chat wanted me to also just always come up with like who can I use with that unit. So I wanted to make a follow-up video for the last video I made about Heal Gauntlet Diane, because now with her cheerful girl engrave equipment, she becomes a healer. Every single time, or using your ultimate move, restores HP equal to 12.5% of max HP. Each time, shadow resistance boost is gained within 15 seconds. Normal skill damage increases by 30% for 5 seconds when burst is activated, just giving her a little oomph and damage on your one big slam down kick to hit. That also increases your defense. So now it also increases your you also get a defense, you defense increase and a now normal skill increase. I mean, you could go, like, really, it has to be units that could still benefit off it being an Earth Burst itself. Obviously, Dark, Meliodas, Bug, like that combo. You could do Bug DPS if you don't really have, like, somebody, and he's still a solid DPS. You could do Slater. You could do physical characters. Slater with Xraypc. Slater pops bleed, goes full DPS Slater with his axe. Try to do as much damage as possible. Xraypc is buffing the bleeds. Xraypc, this guy's going to be future proof in the sense that anybody who's a dot based build, and especially shocked and bleed, he's on it. Like, he's like your third character on the Gil Thunder Drake team. And when Merlin comes out, she has lightning, or other characters have lightning. He's amazing on there, just in case they have shocked. And any characters that have bleed, like probably Bond's gonna have a bleed and anything like that. So you could use him. That honestly might be an insane combo, and that's like honestly super free to play friendly. Because if you just all you to do is pull Diane, and then just have these two SR characters. This one's starting obviously, and then you just gotta get, I guess, kind of lucky in this one. You can go Manny Holy Staff. Ult based, pop your ulti, decreases all element resistance, so that it makes it so Diane has a little bit more oomph. Elaine, that plus Manny, and then you just need a final thing. You could go Meliodas, you could go Bug, you could go you still could go Slater, because like Slater also reduces their crit resistance, makes them take more crit damage, and makes them take more damage. The thing about Diane's gauntlets, it still does a lot of damage, but she doesn't really she's a oh my god she's a setup character. But especially if you like hyper invest in her, let's say like a Diane banner comes out, the more you invest in her, the more she ends up becoming more of a DPS on top of that. So she's like your favorite character. It ends up making all of these good. Obviously, dupes just make any character kind of round out better. But there's certain characters that kind of benefit even more from their dupes. Meliodas is like one character he like doesn't really need the dupes at all. And the more you play him, the more you realize like maybe just the first one. Mainly with this one. And I think this one. Yeah, you're mean to like CC and stuff while you're charging your main ability. And then this one you get like the extra cooldown reduction. But like Longsword, you don't really need it. But like Diane, honestly, I looked at all of them. They all really need it. Like immunity when you're popping your charge skill. This one enhances your normal skill for 5 seconds when the hero activates Earth Burst, which you're gonna get really fast with the outfit because it bursts really fast, and then it enhances your normal skill to hit like extra big damage, and increases damage by 100% when attacking an enemy with Earth Burst. So it's like you're just gonna be pumping damage when normally you're just using her for heals and bursting. And that makes it so you could, that's why you could go like the Elaine Manny to just support her and just help her pump harder. And then every time you just keep funneling ults into her because she's charged your ult so fast, and then you could literally just pump ult, and then that gives you shadow resistance. Well, I have a 12.5% heal because I got very lucky, but I think it's 10% at level 1, and then 15% at max. That last character is really, I'm just like throwing spitballing characters out. King, you can go Earth or Holy King. He's really great on the team. And then I think, is Heal King Physical King? Pretty sure Heal is Physical on him. I know he has Holy. I think that's pure DPS. I think the Physical is Heal. And then I'm pretty sure he has Earth as well. So you could go that. You can go Grimoire, so you can get some shields out of it. So just in case works well with her. Because anyone... allies take a damage taken decreases by 10% while barriers are active. So I'm not sure if so it says grants allies barriers equal to 135% of defense for 20 seconds. I'm not sure if there's like an extra buff that like goes on top of that. Let's say if you play with another barrier character, you have Grimoire and his son. Both apply barriers, and we'll work with this without messing with it too much. And they are like damage reduction stances, which are really good and extremely underrated. Barrier right here. Allied hero has a barrier. Their defense increases by 15%, which then makes your damage scale on this one. You also have the defense increase here. You taunt on her, and then so like all that will just benefit super well. So honestly, Grimoire might be a sleeper pick. Anyone who buffs defense, even Hendrickson buffs defense, on top of being like an insane healer if you can get his maybe him duped up. Also the same thing, his engraving armor. His engraving armor also applies the more healing efficiency. I think it's like anybody affected by your ult gets like a 90% healing boost. I think it's healing received. I'm pretty sure it gives them a 90% healing received boost at max. I want them to check that again. Let me check that again real quick. I get it mixed up between his and Tiores. Because I think Tiores is the healing boost to the actual skill. I'm pretty sure his is healing efficiency, like the people affected by it receive more healing. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Can't wait for the, like a better index to be out for this. So using your ultimate move increases all allied heroes or healing received from 50 to 80% for 14 seconds if their remaining HP is 30% or lower. So if you pop that, it's a buff on them for 14 seconds. So now imagine you pop that, and then at 30% HP, like you're like, sometimes I'm at like 9k HP, I pop my ult instantly. And then when you use tag skills with him too, you there you go. Using your tag skill restores magic gauge by 500 at 3 or less magic points. I'm not sure if that gets increased here. Oh, here we go. By 50%. So once I get his other dupe here, it'll go up by 50%. I got 2 dupes, so like let's say, look at this. You use your healing efficiency dash twice now, which is your special attack. And then it changes the healing efficiency boost to 2 times. And then when you pop your a defense increase skill, it's a 10% more defense increase. So that works insanely well with Diane. It's another good 4th slaughter. Really, it's like the best team you would probably get is like Diane, Elaine, Manny, and then anything else like Meliodas, that, and Hendrickson, Grimoire, Xraypc, Draydrin. You can go even shield Gila and just use it to pop the shield and have a stance just in case. Because once the Earth Burst procs, you can swap off to any element, still do their thing, as long as it's like, you could like get somebody who shields or heals, reduces their crit chance, crit defense, anything like that. So that still works too. But yeah, generally like Meliodas is super good at it because sometimes I just want to like swap him in and just nuke the boss after like stunning it. And I'll just give a quick thing to here too. The dungeon that you're going to be most successful in is Gila on Hell, or all of it, and then the Corrupted Warden Argot boss challenge. He's weak to Ella, Dark, and Earth, which is, you know, you're like, that's why I say get Meliodas. He goes into a frenzy state. If you stun him, the frenzy ends. Usually people who have burst for some reason feel like they fill the daze gauge way faster. And then you have become stuns for an extended duration. If the daze gauge is completely filled, each time an earth debuff is inflicted, the daze gauge fills slightly more. So when you have like, let's say Elaine, she puts like earth resistance down and all this stuff on them. When you go to the book that works for earth. So you would go Diane, burst on him. Elaine, boom, dazes him, stuns him. He can't move anymore. He's not flying all over the map anymore, charging from wall to wall. So then you swap into melee and insta-nuke him. Or you go to King and you destroy him. Or whatever the heck you wanted to do. You can go into your Slater, pop all your bleeds, and then go do whatever, you know? That's like the thing you could do there. Or if you end up getting dupes on Diane, she's still your DPS and you just stay on Diane if you want. That's usually like the cool thing about her, like the dupes for like a burst character. And then the cool thing is he does a lot of big hits, but he has a lot of like hits in there. Like he'll like slam the ground, slam the ground, slam the ground, or spin and spin again. And if you have your ult, you're immune to the CC, that the knockbacks. He has multiples of knockbacks and stuns, knockdowns. So you would be immune to all that. Maybe sorry that I'm getting like text out on her. And then Gila, you have to click on it to open it and do it for all these fights, everything. Please look at all of this because this will just save you guys a heartache. Like Gila, she gets a buff on herself, up crit chance buff, up to 20 stacks, and you can see it right under her health bar, and you can see it like kind of like ticking down in a sense of like it's like shading itself out, and that's how you know it's gone. But when you pop your ult as Diane, you literally could just sit there and face tank it, right? So if you look at my other video, I literally show that Gila fight. That's the easiest fight to show it in because Gila has multiples of hits. Like literally, she goes, you see her charge her claw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and she like hits like multiples of times. She has another one where she like kind of jumps backwards and shoots a big ass explosion on the ground. Boom, explodes and hits you. And I've been hit by that, and I had like 20k HP out of my 139,000 I have, and I literally healed like to half HP. Like it was like I was like wait. Like how did I usually I would think it would damage first and then heal, but it's like the heal procs first, and the heal is so much on top of the shatter resistance and the defense increase I had from my E before I had popped my ult that it just feels like I'm unkillable. And I'm pretty sure the heal also procs while you have a shield on. So I would pop Elaine's shield after popping the defense increase, and then I pop my ult, and then by the time I get out of that, maybe the boss has some dumb thing where they hit me in my ult. Like by the time I get out, they're like smack me already, and I just heal it full. By the time the shield goes away, I'm already full HP. And then you'll just see my health like tick down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up over and over again. I wouldn't try to pop ult when you're already like 2k HP, 1k HP. If you're already there, maybe pop a potion first real quick. Unless you know, I don't even have like max gear, but I live right here. Daze gauge appears when Earth Burst is activated, completely filling the gauge before Earth Burst ends. It inflicts a stun. That's why like sometimes I face tanker, and I try to do that before as Diane, and there's moments where I would get it off and I would just kill her instantly, and there's sometimes I would just die instantaneously while trying to pop it. But yeah, I only have 13k defense. She has like less defense than my Meliodas, but I feel like I don't die just because of her kit. Trying to think. Oh, and another thing, you could use that set to the corrupted watcher. I'll just show that one real quick. So you could use this. Defense shatter 5%. All damage 7.5%. If tag points are fewer than 1, when using your tag skill, the tag gauge is restored by 100 every second for 10 seconds. But, and I'm going to use this at the end of the video. Farm this. The immortal guardian rings that turns into the twist. These turn into the twisted. So immortal that turns into twisted. These bring you all element burst efficiency, perseverance rate, which is I'm pretty sure damage reduction. But if somebody knows the exact thing for it, I'm pretty sure it's like in a sense perseverance procs and then reduce the damage that you would have taken. That's what I'm thinking. So like I'm thinking like the more perseverance you build, the more like when it does proc, you take less damage in that moment. So it's pretty cool that it's perseverance rate, because I've never really seen that as a stat. And then it works with your all elemental burst efficiency here, the all elemental burst efficiency subset here, and then defense shatter as well on you. And then you get the 3% chance to restore tag gauge. And then also when you burst, you buff all allied heroes, like even co-op characters, like people in co-op with you around right next to you should get a buff to their ult damage, and then you just fry. So you're gonna be bursting the boss no matter what, because you could face tank because you can never die, and then you don't have to worry about wasting your, like, let's say it only costs 3 ult orbs. If you have the right team comp, you should have somebody who charges ult orbs, or another person who either has a 2 or who has 2 cost one that's pretty cheap, or someone who has a broken one that you might be willing to save like 6 ult orbs. By the time it goes off, you just nuclear bomb strike the boss. My Meliodas single sword usually can charge his ult even after I pop this one. If I only had like 4 orbs, I could pretty much charge his ult by the time I get to him. So that's just one I wanted to show that as an extra little tidbit right there at the end. But yeah, that's the characters. I'll just go over one more time. Elaine Elizabeth is like the combo, especially with this one right here. You can go Elaine Elizabeth Manny as like a trio, and then build your team around that. You can go Elaine Elizabeth Slater Dreyfus as like a bleed combo if you don't have like you don't have like every SR character in the world. You can go like Diane Meliodas if you don't have Elaine or all 3. You can go Bug in there to buff your Meliodas' damage, and you have Elaine buffing your Diana's damage, so you can kind of have all that. Bug has like a decoy as well, so that helps. I wouldn't do something like Fire, or I wouldn't try to do Jericho, because like pretty much everyone when they're playing Jericho they're trying to do dual blades to burst as fast as possible. I haven't seen anyone try to test her lance, which is more of a defensive one, and I haven't seen anyone really try the rapier. These are the only first 2 slots in every character so far are the only ones with the SSR engravings. So if you want to actually get the engraving that like your engravings are this, making it her go from a burster and you swap instantly, get off of it and hope you didn't die, to a super tank immortal healer, right? So all the engravings are that strong, so you don't want to really waste it on something like another element that doesn't really coincide with you. And I don't really need the survivability because I already have Elaine, I have a taunt, and then I have her with her ult and her defense boost. So if I really wanted something like that, I'd probably just go Hendrickson or Grimoire or Dradrin, something like that. And maybe even like Gila Sword of Shield, because she has the crazy damage reduction taunt right here. 65% damage reduction. I think Guild Thunder's is 40% damage reduction, taunts. And then he puts barrier, so that helps. Yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, like, oh yeah, you could do a Tiore. Tiore puts these wool things on the ground that help burst. You have this, that she increases the earth damage of all your allies up to 15%, and then she also buffs the defense of all your allies when an allied hero activates burst, earth burst, and then she also just has this earth burst does more damage based on defense. So really, you're never probably ulting as her. It's only 2, but you're probably never ulting. But she helps burst. She helps increase damage, and then she also increases defense, which for Diane would be more damage. And then Elaine's buffing your damage. Elaine is giving you 30% more earth damage. Tag skill is switching damage. Tag skill back faster with this, and then they're have less earth burst resistance, so they're easier to burst. So you could just swap it and swap off the like Meliodas, swap off the Bugs, swap of this, swap of that. Yeah. Oh, and she also gives you a barrier, which then gives you even more damage reduction with the barrier up. So the barrier takes longer to go off, so you have more time to heal. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. I just want to bring like a video about what teams to do, and also like helpful tips for Diane's like heal burst builds is what I like to call it in 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Hope to see you guys on the next one, and peace.